Family Radio News at 6. Now the headlines. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has started a thank you tour in the Upper Eastern region and Northern region. And the Excellency President John Mahama has also paid a surprise visit to Black Stars on the field during their training. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has also, a committee has also been formed to review the Okada operations. Also in international news, Hamas rocket hit Israel as Gaza toll rises, breaking the truce. And also USA track star speaks out against Trump's move on transgender athletes. Let's go for a quick commercial break, and when I come back, I would give you the details of these and many more.
Admission, admission, admission. Are you looking for a computer institution with a serene atmosphere in equipping you with the ability to deepen your understanding and in-depth knowledge in computerization? Then the answer is Big Family Multimedia Institute. Our dedicated and experienced teachers are ready to provide personal attention, support, and help you bring your fusion to bear. We are located at Amasama and Dobrogono, Upper Class Junction, and Santa Maria Family and Friend. For more information, contact 0555 20 80 56 0540 932 188. Website bfmnetworks.com. Email info@bfmnetwork.com. Other affiliates include Center for Trade, Big Family TV, Big Family News, Big Family Radio, Big Family Event, Big Family Multimedia Institute, KabaraInfo.com, Trustees, Okman Motors, Soko Mall, ABK TV Ghana. Enroll now and experience the difference.
You are all that matters.
Admission, admission, admission. Are you looking for a computer institution with a serene atmosphere in equipping you with the ability to deepen your understanding and in-depth knowledge in computerization? Then the answer is Big Family Multimedia Institute. Our dedicated and experienced teachers are ready to provide personal attention, support, and help you bring your fusion to bear. We are located at Amasama and Dobrogono, Upper Class Junction, and Santa Maria Family and Friend. For more information, contact 0555 20 80 56 0540 932 188. Website bfmnetworks.com. Email info@bfmnetwork.com. Other affiliates include Center for Trade, Big Family TV, Big Family News, Big Family Radio, Big Family Event, Big Family Multimedia Institute, KabaraInfo.com, Trustees, Okman Motors, Soko Mall, ABK TV Ghana. Enroll now and experience the difference.
You are all that matters.
Welcome. You are welcome. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama will today, March 20th, 2025, begin a thank you tour to the Upper East and Northern regions to express his appreciation to the chiefs and people for their overwhelming support in the 2024 general elections. His first stop will be Jubilee Park in Bolgatanga at 2 p.m., after which he will head to the Northern region for a similar gathering at Jubilee Park in Tamale on Saturday, March 22nd, 2025 at 2 p.m. The tour forms a part of a series of engagements aimed at strengthening relations with traditional leaders and the wider public. President Mahama is expected to discuss ongoing and future development projects in both regions. This visit follows his recent trip to the Volta region on March 6, 2025, where he accessed the impact of tidal waves that devastated coastal communities, including Solakope and Agavazi in the Ketu South municipality. During that visit, he criticized the suitability of a designated resettlement site for displaced residents, describing it as inadequate for a long-term habitation. He assured affected communities that the government will take steps to address their concerns and provide a lasting solution. Today's trip marks President Mahama's first official visit to the Upper East and Northern region since assuming office. Away from that story, and still on the office of President John Dramani Mahama, President John Dramani Mahama has made a surprise visit to the Black Stars training session at the Accra Sports Stadium on Wednesday, offering words of encouragement ahead of their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Chad and Madagascar. Acknowledging the team's recent struggles, including their failure to qualify for AFCON 2024, The president reaffirmed his faith in the squad's ability to reclaim Ghana's football glory. We didn't qualify for AFCON, but even when we did, we crashed out very early the last time, and so we haven't given up on you, Mahama assured. He emphasized that the team's revival rests on the players, technical staff, and management committee, urging them to work together to restore the Black Stars' dominance in African football. We still believe that the Black Stars can find its glory again. And it's dependent on you, the technical team, and the main management committee, he also stressed. The president reminded the players that while Ghanaians passionately support the team, their success depends on their dedication and sacrifice during matches. The goals will come from these feet that are right here. And so, it takes sacrifice. It takes strength. We will all like to watch you when you play for your teams. And we expect that you bring some of that dedication to the national team, Mahama urged. The Black Stars will face Chad on 21st March at the Accra Sports Stadium before traveling to Morocco to take on Madagascar on 24th March. These matches are crucial in Ghana's bid to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The players, coaches and officials expressed their gratitude for the president's visit, promising to give their best and make the nation proud.
Here on behalf of all Ghanaians, as the President of the Republic, to just cheer you on and encourage you. Ghanaians have had their hearts broken by the fact that we didn't qualify for the AFCON. But even when we qualified for the AFCON, we crashed out very early the last time. And so we haven't given up on you. We still believe that the Black Stars can find its glory again. And it's dependent on you and the technical team and the management committee. We can come and play the football. We can make the resources available. We can come to the stadium and cheer you on. But eventually, the goals will come from these feet that are right here. And so, it takes sacrifice, it takes strength. We all like to watch you when you play for your teams. And we expect that you bring some of that dedication to the national team. Playing for the national team is not as lucrative as playing for your...
Away from that story, in 2024, a total of 6.2 billion Ghana cedis worth of excavators were imported into Ghana. Ranking third in the country's import bill, Mr. Emmanuel Amakofibua, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, has announced the minister suspected that those excavators might have ended up at the country's mining sites for illegal mining activities, and thus urged the Ministry of Transport and the Driver and Vehicles Licensing Authority, DVLA, to collaborate to control their importation. The minister has banned illegal floating platforms after it emerged that chamfans were seriously damaging the region's water bodies. Following a string of failures, the ministry is changing course, with all small-scale mining licenses now needing to be approved at district level. The announcement came during a press conference held on Wednesday. Mr. Amakofibua hopes this approach will combat illegal mining as they look for a more long-term solution. The recent strategy in the battle against illegal mining includes not destroying equipment, but seizing and reusing it, after the minister confirmed 60 excavators would be diverted for building new roads. The equipment was seized in a 2-month operation by the military task force, and the decision comes after recommendations from a committee that has been reviewing licensing arrangements. 7 illegal mining sites have now been recovered, and there are plans to stop all activity in these and other reserved areas. On to another story. The Ministry of Transport has inaugurated a 13-member inter-agency review committee to review the Road Traffic Regulations 2012 LI 2180 that prohibits the use of motorcycle and tricycles for commercial purposes, popularly known as Okada. The committee will focus on how such vehicles could be allowed to be used for fare-paying passenger services, Currently, the use of motorcycles and tricycles for commercial purposes violates the existing road traffic regulations, posing challenges for enforcement and road safety. The review is part of the government's effort to address such issues and ensure a safer and more regulated transportation system. The committee, made up of key institutions and law enforcement representatives, has been given 3 weeks to amend the road traffic regulation, hold stakeholder consultations and submit the report. The members include Mabel Sago and Daniel Essel, both representing the Ministry of Transport, MOT, Idisa Yabua Seidu, Edmond Cheyo and Bona Otuo Cerebro from the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA, as well as Commissioner of Police, COP, Peter Baba Atiniak, and Chief Superintendent, Alexander K. Opon of the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, MTTD, of the Ghana Police Service. Others are Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, NRSA, Abraham Amaleba, Kwame Kodria Etuahene, also of NRSA, Frederick Asala Iliasu, and Na Matekai Sanka Oduman, both of the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice. The rest are Alhaji Mohammed Sani Adams from the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment, and a representative from the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Minister of Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikbe, outlined his vision for a safer and more inclusive transportation system as he charged the committee reviewing Okada regulations. The committee's task, he explained, involves balancing the need to address safety concerns with the economic benefits provided by commercial motorcycles and tricycles. He urged the committee to consult with stakeholders, gather data, and analyze best practices. Nikbe recognized the vital role these vehicles play in providing flexible and convenient transport, underserved, undeserved areas, and committed the government to creating a safer operating environment. Away from that story, speaking at a meeting with civil society organizations, CSOS, on March 18, 2025, Mr. Jinapo disclosed that the sector's liabilities have reached 80 billion Ghana cedis, with the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, alone accounting for over 60 billion Ghana cedis. Ghana's energy sector debt crisis is drawing increasing international concern, with the IMF flagging it as a major financial risk, and local officials raising alarms over the rapidly escalating liabilities. Energy Minister John Abdullahi Jinapo warned that the debt, now at 80 billion Ghana cedis, threatens a financial collapse. Finance Minister Dr. Gaisel Atoforsen has also cautioned that the debt could reach $9 billion by 2027 if urgent action is not taken. He reiterated that transparency and broad stakeholder engagement will be the key in tackling the country's energy challenges. Moving on to other story. An 80-year-old American woman was lured to Ghana under false pretenses, kidnapped and robbed, according to court documents. Emmanuel Adedoyin Adebayo, who posed as U.S. actor Mark Hammond, and Esther Ogbonna are accused of abducting Diana Christine Nelson after she arrived in Ghana. The pair, along with a third suspect still at large, allegedly held her hostage, stole her phones and bank cards, and withdrew over $15,000 from her account. The case has been adjourned to April 8 as Adebayo and Ogbonna remain in custody, unable to meet their bail conditions. Esther, the second accused, picked the victim up from Kotoka International Airport and initially housed her in an apartment in East Legon Hills before moving her to Tema Community 11. Adebayo and his accomplice, Poromo, who remains at large, allegedly withdrew $15,821.70 from the victim's bank account and demanded a ransom of $150,000 from her family. The police retrieved cash amounting to 7,000 Ghana cedis and 4,000 Ghana cedis from Adebayo, which is believed to be proceeds from the sale of the phones and part of the ATM withdrawals. However, the victim's iPhone 12 was not recovered. Away from that story, the Deputy Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Justice Swimsai, has confirmed that a search was conducted at the private residence of the former governor of the Bank of Ghana as part of ongoing investigations into the alleged misappropriation of state assets. Dr. Swimsai stated that the operation, which took place on Wednesday, was carried out legally with a valid warrant, claiming full responsibility and asserting it was conducted legally as part of an anti-corruption effort. He emphasized thorough investigations to prevent wrongful prosecutions, vowing to only prosecute with sufficient evidence. The search has sparked public debate, with some criticizing the government's approach and others urging faster action. Still on the issue of the raid that went on at the Bank of Ghana, the governor's house, the minority in parliament has accused national security operatives of making away with 10,000 Ghana cedis in cash and valuable jewelry belonging to the wife of former Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Ernest Addison during a raid on his residence. The operation, which took place on Wednesday, March 19th, 2025, was reportedly conducted by armed national security operatives, some of whom were masked and wielding guns. Witnesses say the operative overpowered private security personnel before conducting a search of the property. Addressing the media on Thursday, March 20th, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin condemned the security operation, describing it as lawless and an act of intimidation against former appointees of ex-President Nana Akufo-Addo's administration. This is the first time in our country's history that a governor of the central bank has been subjected to such treatment. Unfortunately, 10,000 Ghana cedis placed on his bed went missing after the raid, Afenyo-Markin alleged. The governor's wife's earrings and necklaces were also taken.
By calling on this vicious cycle, the minority caucus is here to express its concerns about the growing lawless conduct of our national security operatives who the government has unleashed on opponents, particularly the MPP appointees of former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. We've heard of some raids, and in some cases, these so-called security operatives rob these officials when they are leaving their premises. They force their way, overpower the security, and enter these premises. This Rambo-style approach must cease. This is the first time in the history of our country that a governor of a central bank is being subjected to such a treatment. Unfortunately for the governor, some 10,000 cedis on his bed could not be found. So some of these hungry party foot soldiers that they use, who parade themselves as national security operatives, are after all perhaps not even being paid, and they use this opportunity to steal. The governor's wife's earrings and necklaces were also not traced. They couldn't be found. In other words, those operatives stole these earrings and necklaces.
Still on the issue of the minority accusing the national security. Amidst allegations of theft during raids on political opponents, the minority leader suggested that some operatives may have been motivated by underpayments and using the operations as an opportunity for looting. He further called on President John Dramani Mahama to end the cycle of intimidation and abuse of power.
This vicious cycle of using power to intimidate must cease. I conclude by calling on President John Dramani Mahama. We know him as a moderate politician, respected politician. He served his country, had a first term, lost elections. The Ghanaian people have given him another mandate to do his final term, which is a constitutional power mandate given him. He should leave a legacy. Your Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, please leave a legacy. Let it be said that even if there were excesses in the exercise of executive power, when you had the opportunity, you changed it for good and own that legacy in your name, Your Excellency. We're tired of the intimidation, the attacks, and the hypocrisy. We were told that Jakwe's first attack on Kenoforiata was not authorized. Today, the same Jakwe leading armed police, armed military, and so-called party thugs who parade on the streets of Accra as security operatives, terrorizing and traumatizing a respected Ghanaian citizen who has dedicated the better part of his life to serve his country.
On to another story. In a move to revamp the Ghana Police Service, Inspector General of Police, IGP Christian Tete Yohonu, has announced changes to the Police Management Board. Their appointments are to be taken effectively immediately. The reconstituted Police Management Board includes COP Mamiya Tiwa Adodankwa, Director General Research and Planning, COP Paul Manley Arini, Head of Surface Workshop, Accra, COP Daniel Kwame Efriye, Director General, Private Security Operations, COP Dr. Ernest Kwabena Owusu, Director General Services, COP Mohammed Fuseini Suraji, Director General, National Patrol Department, COP Dr. Saibu Papi Gariba, Director General, Technical, COP Michael Netia Frimpon, Director General, Finance, COP Asumedu Ochiredakun, Director General, Public Affairs and Public Safety Bureau, COP Idisanla Seidu, Director General, Welfare, COP Faustina A.K. Andor Kofi, Commandment, Ghana Police Command and Staff College, Winneba, COP Joseph Oklu Jamra, Director General, Legal and Prosecution, COP Peter Baba Atiniak, Director General, Police Intelligence Department, DCOP Dr. David Ajeman Ajem, Director General, Administration, DCOP Vance Gariba, Director General, Operations, DCOP Sebastian Achu Wemiga, Director General, Information and Communication Technology, DCOP Lydia Yako Donko, Director General, Criminal Investigation Department, DCOP Duty Tuaruka, Regional Commander, Ashanti Region, DCOP Eric Ken Winfo, Director General, National Anti-Piracy Department, DCOP Gabriel Prince Wabu, Director General, Motor Traffic and Transport Department, DCOP Ahen Kwesi Ano, Director General, Special Duties, DCOP Frederick Kofi Blagazi, Director General, Human Resource Development, DCOP Frank Abrakwa, Deputy Director General, Criminal Investigation Department, DCOP Francis Kwame Chidi, Regional Commander, Western North Region, DCOP Abraham Akwe, Regional Commander, Central Region, DCOP Yao Dogbe Tetega, Regional Commander, Eastern Region, ACP Wisdom Akoli, Regional Commander, Volta Region. ACP Joshua Copson, Regional Commander, Upper East Region. ACP Wisdom, Lavo, Regional Commander, Northern Region. ACP Grace Ansa Akrofi, Director, Public Affairs Directorate. Chief Superintendent Solomon A. Colley, Executive Secretary to the IGP, and Chief Superintendent Kujo Abuaje, Chief Staff Officer to the IGP. Away from that story, the Bank of Ghana has dismissed reports suggesting that MTN has been granted a license to facilitate cross-border transactions with MTN Nigeria. In a statement, the central bank made it clear that Mobile Money Limited, the provider of MTN Momo, has not been authorized to conduct international money transfers. The clarification follows widespread media reports that incorrectly implied MTN Ghana had secured regulatory approval for such operations. However, the Bank of Ghana explained that the only one cross-border transaction pilot currently under its supervision is BridgeX, a business-to-business B2B currency swap platform developed by Bridge Fintech Ghana, a licensed payment service provider, PSP. BridgeX, which is part of Bank of Ghana's Regulatory Sandbox initiative, enables direct currency swaps between the Ghanaian cedi and the Nigerian naira. Unlike conventional international transfers, this platform does not require forex or physical movement of funds across borders. The pilot began live testing in February 2025, initially with MTN Momo customers and later expected to include G-Money users. Bank of Ghana assured the public that the pilot is being conducted under strict regulatory controls, including transaction limits, a restricted number of participants, and compliance with anti-money laundering (AML) and Know Your Customer (KYC) protocols. The central bank will evaluate the results of the trial before determining any policy direction. The Bank of Ghana reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring secure, efficient, and affordable cross-border payments in Africa, emphasizing that MTN Ghana's Momo remains limited to domestic transactions until further notice. Away from the local news and now into the international news. Hamas has resumed rocket attacks on Israel from Gaza, marking its first response since Israel renewed its offensive and shattered a 2-month ceasefire. The Hamas attack follows an Israeli offensive on Gaza that has killed more than 500 Palestinians, including 200 children, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Meanwhile, Israel has intensified its offensive, claiming to have retaken the Netrazim corridor and launched a new ground operation in northern Gaza. Houthi rebels in Yemen also fired a ballistic missile at Israel, which was intercepted. Protests against the renewed fighting have erupted in Israel. Tensions remain high, with each side blaming the other for the collapse of the truce. A resident of Beit Lahia, Mufida Abu Nazar, told the media that the strikes began in the early hours of Thursday morning as he was preparing suhoor, the pre-dawn meal Muslims consume before fasting during Ramadan. My children began to scream, and I was also terrified because I lost my son just 40 days ago. He was martyred, she said. When we went outside, we found out that relatives and neighbors had all been martyred. Moving on to the last story. Track star Sadiq Sreina is facing a heartbreaking reality after years of hard work and significant personal sacrifice. Shifting rules on transgender athletes are threatening to end her career. The 21-year-old American, who began transitioning in high school and takes daily medication to suppress her testosterone levels, has been effectively banned from competing in NCAA and USA track and field events. Sreina says she feels defeated by the policies, which she sees as discriminatory and unfair. She says she gets death threats regularly, but would still be ready to be a voice in the conversation to help people understand her experience and point of view. I'm tired. I'm scared in a lot of ways, she added. I feel isolated, and it feels like a very independent fight right now. But she does not want to give up running, and she's looking forward to moving to Australia or New Zealand, which is way more inclusive and years ahead of the US policy. She said, and even though US organizations won't let her run, she remains steadfast in her goal to compete in the Olympics. 8 years from now, I am going to be in the Olympics, just maybe competing for Australia, the US track star Sadie Shrena says. To end the news, President Mahama begins thank you tour in Upper East region and the Northern region. The President Mahama has inspired Black Stars ahead of crucial World Cup qualifiers. The land minister has said Ghana imported about 6.2 billion Ghana cedi worth of excavators in 2024. Committee formed to review Okada operations, the Ministry of Transport says. And international news too, Hamas rocket hit Israel as Gaza toll rises, breaking truths. US track star speaks out against Trump's move on transgender athletes. This is news at 6 from the studios of Big Family Radio. Now to acknowledge my sponsors: Center for Trade, Trustees Network Group, Big Family Multimedia Institute, and BFM Store. You can also watch us and follow us live on Facebook at BFM Network and ABK TV Ghana. My name is Esther Kosia Bobli, and this is News at 6 from the studios of Big Family Radio. Thank you.